Welcome back, and thank you for tuning in once again. Today, we're going to discuss a really ridiculous and stupid issue that's been going on for way too long. And that is all this stupid and ridiculous feminist crap and women's lib crap and all this sexual harassment and sexual abuse stuff that's coming from all these feminist groups and stuff. We're going to talk about this today because the truth is we're all sick of it. I mean, men are sick of it. Most of the women are sick of it. We're all just tired. We've had it to hear with all this stupid crap, and we're tired of it. Nobody cares. Nobody cares anymore. Nobody wants to hear it. Now, quite decades ago, a long time ago, back in the 20s, 30s, whatever, yeah, women were a little suppressed, I admit. We have to admit that. We know that women were kind of more in a bad place. They couldn't do a lot of some of the things that men do that they probably should be able to do. I think men at that time were getting away with some, probably, some abuse towards women that they shouldn't have been doing, shouldn't have been getting away with. Nobody should be hurting anybody, obviously. And so the women needed a little protection there. We know this. And but since then, women have got their rights. They've already gone through this women lib stuff way back in the 60s and so on, or 50s, whatever it was, and they've got their rights now. They've got all the protection they need. They've got all the rights that they need. If there's abuse or harassment, they go to the law enforcement or whatever, and they take care of it. They report their perpetrators or whatever. There's protection for them now. And we all know this. Besides that, they have a lot of rights now. They can smoke. If they want to smoke cigarettes and kill themselves, they can do that now. They can vote. It's really no big deal. They can drive. They can do a lot of things now. Now, granted, a lot of people will say, and it's true, that a lot of the Bibles around the world tell us that the man should have the upper hand and control things a little bit more, and that doesn't give them the right to abuse women, and we understand that. But to have them a little bit more control, and that women should be a little bit lower than the man, whether that's true or not, I don't know. It's debatable, but one thing, for sure is when we do mess with stuff like that, it does seem to make a difference. It seems like it gets us into trouble. I don't know. There's one South American country, I'm not sure which one it was, but they claim that their whole downfall of their nation was caused by giving too much power to women. And maybe there's some truth to that. I don't know, but anyway, so what has happened here is what happens oftentimes in an inequality situation. Okay, you try to get it leveled out, because I'm one degree, and I think a lot of us do, that we should be equal. I think men should be totally equal to women, and vice versa. We should be totally equal. I don't really agree the man should be way up here overpowering women, and I also don't believe that women should be overpowering men, and that's the problem. That's where the problem is. And with a lot of these things, they reach whatever group it is, whether it's women or race or religion or whatever it is, they reach sexual gender identity. That's orientation. That's another one. Once they reach their equality level and they've got all the rights in the world that they could ask for, they still want to push it. They want to push and push and push. And there's a number of reasons for that. We're going to discuss that. But this has also happened with this men-women inequality problem. It's way surpassed now. Well, it's been that way, and it just keeps increasing to where women have not only accepted their rights and got all the rights that they need and their equality with men, but now they want to push it. They want to keep going farther and farther and to where it's a power situation that's now reversed. Now it's went the other way, where men had the upper hand. Now women are getting way too much power over men, and it's causing a conflict, obviously. We're going to talk about that later, too, how the effect and the consequences, and oftentimes we don't think of that. We don't think of the consequences of what we're doing. It can seem good, but we don't think that way. We don't look ahead to see what problems that we're causing. And this situation is causing a lot of problems. We'll discuss that a little later. Okay, so one kind of big reason for that reversal, that power reversal, is the fact that people are scared. You know, when they were in a bad position, like women were at one point, or you can apply a number of different groups to that, to where there was fear, you know, a lot of really bad things that were going on in their lives, and that required this change. And so naturally that fear lingers on. And so the problem with women and a lot of other groups that this happens with is they're afraid of the past returning. That's what it is. They're afraid of losing their position. They're afraid of it reversing again, going back to the other extreme, and then they'll be in a bad place again. We all understand that, but so then that's where the power comes in. Now it becomes a power and control situation to hold on to what they have, to keep what they have. Now they surpass the equality, and now they need the power to feel that's going to lock that in for them. You know, the only problem is it can have the total adverse effect, and if women keep up what they're doing, they're going to see that pretty soon. Is that they're making a mistake, and this is going to be the consequences. Is instead of having their power that they have, or excuse me, instead of having the equality that they have, all this excessive drive for power against men, now power over men, is going to backfire, and they may just end up in the same situation anyway as they were before, because men aren't going to put up with it. Men are finally going to get tired of it. A lot of the women out there are going to get tired of it, and it's going to come back on them, and who knows what could happen, you know. So they best off leave alone, but I know that's not going to happen. They're too deep into a lot of these feminist groups and stuff. They really don't know what they're doing. They're too deep into where they're at already, and so I don't think they're going to reverse it on their own. I really do think we're going to see some bad consequences for them down the road, but we'll see what happens. Okay, and then there's multiple other reasons that these kind of things can happen when you get a power and control situation. You get entitlement. Some of these women can feel like they're entitled to this, or they just want power and control over people to make themselves feel stronger, power control over men. You have men haters out there, just like you have women haters, men that hate women. You have women out there that hate men. We all know that. And so maybe it's that they want revenge for something in their past, or they had a bad relationship. Now they're going to take it out on all men. What else? These are all just common examples. Some people just want to be followers. They want to follow the leader. They want to jump on the bandwagon, do what the other women are doing or something, because it makes them feel important, because it makes them feel better. Some people need to point fingers. Some people have low self-esteem. They need to point fingers at other people and put them down to make themselves feel better. Someone's attention seeking. They want attention. They want to feel like they're belong. They want to feel like they belong to something, to a group or something. And a lot of these people join these kind of situations, and a lot of these women will jump into this feminist group kind of thing and all that, because just because, you know, and they don't have the slightest idea what the hell they're talking about even. And they certainly probably don't even believe what they're talking about. But they're going to do it anyway, just because it's there, and because they can associate with these women, they can feel powerful and all that. And that's what it's all about. It comes down to power and control in the end, which is again what men probably had over women some many years ago, and now it's reversing. And just like that, it's going to cause a problem as well, because nobody should be overpowering anybody. Men and women should be equal. We should all be equal. Everybody in the world is the same. They should all be equal. I don't care what race you are, what gender you are, what quality this and that. It doesn't matter. We're all people. We're all the human race, and we should all be equal, but nobody should be overpowering anyone. And when you got all these feminist groups that are trying to do this, and they're stirring up a lot of trouble out there for men, of course, and a lot of trouble for a lot of other women as well. So technically, they're kind of making a fool out of themselves, but they're and they're going to see that. But eventually, they're also causing a lot of problems for a lot of people, and a lot of them know it. Some of them don't. Some of them think they're really doing something important, doing something that makes a difference. Well, yeah, I got word. I got news for them. They're not. They're not. And what they're doing is harmful, is destructive, and it's foolish. And eventually, they will see that, unfortunately. So let's talk about that power thing a little bit. The power over men. Now we have to not only be equal to men, they got that, but now we have to be the same as men, and we can see what happens when that happens. We have men trying to be women, women trying to be men, and women trying to challenge and stand up against men in their work fields and in sports and in military, just about anything. Women have to do it. Women have to get in. Now let's look at what do we got going on nowadays. We have what was the most recent? The girls wanted to join the Boy Scouts. Now, if that's the most stupid and ridiculous thing ever, both those groups are the same. You got the girls, you got the boys. They all go on camping trips, they do projects, they win badges, they wear uniforms, they sell cookies, they all the same stuff. There's no difference. Boys haven't asked to join the Girl Scouts, So, there's no reason to. They have the boy thing, and that's always been separated. But now we got this boy, girl, boy, man, woman, who... Nobody knows who anybody is these days. You don't know male, female, what? And, of course, this is very destructive for the children. If you're an adult and you want to make those decisions and you feel like you want to change things, maybe like your gender or whatever it is, you got that right if you're an adult. But when you're children, we're teaching our children that this is all right and it's okay to make all these alternative choices. And way before they are even grown up, way before they have a chance to decide for themselves, we are influencing them, practically making up their mind for them, what they should be and what they should think and what their sexuality should be and all this other stuff. And it's all wrong. We're destroying our kids in this way. We need to leave our kids alone. What we do behind closed doors as adults is our business. That's one thing. But we shouldn't be flaunting this stuff. We see it in now on the media. We see it on TV. We see it in movies. It's all around us. You see it in the public. And it's not right for the kids, because our children are seeing this, and God knows what they're thinking, how they're going to grow up, and it's really a shameful thing. But and we're going to see that. We're going to see the destructiveness as this, if it continues. We're going to see what's happening with this, and in our children as they grow up. It's gonna ruin them. But anyway, so you don't need girls join the Boy Scouts. There's no reason. You know why they do it? It's to prove a point. That's all it is. It's not because the girls want to be Boy Scouts. It's because they want to prove a point. It's all about the feminist thing. It's, we can be. They want to be more and more like boys. Women want to be more and more like men. And that's all. It's just a power. It's a power trip. It's to prove a point. Look at us. We can be men too. We can be boys too. But why? Then they're not girls. What kind of a world is that? Where you don't have boys and girls. Now you have both or something, and it's all mixed up. I don't know. It's stupid, and it's really harming our kids. That's all I can say about that. But anyway, that's what it comes down to again, is just to prove a point. It's just all about this feminist thing, we can be just like men. So what's the next step? I perceive that down the road here, I think all the women are going to want to go out and get penis implants, so they can be more like men. Maybe then they'll be just like us, and maybe get breast removals and all that. Maybe we can all be men. Hey, we'll have a whole world full of men. Wouldn't that be great? Who's going to have the babies? I don't know. I wonder that sometimes. It's like, God, if we lose all this heterosexuality relationships, and that's already happening. We have, in the last few decades, we have a rise in homosexuality. And again, I'm not degrading anyone that wants to choose their gender. That's fine. But again, I think behind closed doors, we should not be flaunting in front of our children. I think a lot of people agree with that. But anyway, so I wonder. Anyway, so in the last few decades, we have a decline. We have a rise in all this other, gender stuff and a lot of stuff too. We're going to talk about that. But we've got a rise in all sexual violence and stuff in the last few decades, and we have a big decline in all the good stuff. All our heterosexual relationships, our births, our marriages, all this stuff that we need to kind of stay alive on the planet. That's why God put us male and female, so we have babies and procreate and fill the planet Earth and so on. That's what we're supposed to do to survive as a species. And now it's all going downhill. It's going the other way. It's now like we have a big decline in all this normal stuff that's supposed to keep us going. So I mean, how do you do that if we're all men and we're all men? Are we going to eventually rely on women using the sperm bank and they're just going to go on and have an injection of sperm to their embryo, to their whatever it is, and so they can keep us populated with a few babies or something? I mean, this is really just gone too far. It's so ridiculous. And but anyway, yeah, am I against girls joining Boy Scouts? Yeah, I think it's stupid. I'm not really against it. I don't, but it's just ruining us. It's adding to this problem that we're having with this inequality, power struggle that women are now playing a part in. They've let go of, they've way surpassed their equality, and we're going way into this power struggle with women now, and it's affecting everything. It's affecting our population. It's affecting our growth. Our births, our children. It's affecting our children in bad ways. Everything. So. Recently, you probably saw on the news, I wish I could remember her name, I apologize. She was a female, and she was a movie star or something, I'm not sure. A lot of you probably saw that. She caught a lot of static for it. She as a woman, admitted that the way women flaunt themselves in the media, and their sexuality and all that, she made the quote that women are asking for it. Okay, she caught static for that, naturally. A little bit wrong thing to say. People try to say things that doesn't come out right. And, she didn't mean that. She wasn't trying to say that really women are asking for it. Of course not. No, nobody's asking to be abused or to be harassed or whatever. No, nobody's doing that. But you can know what's going to happen, and that's what she meant, is the way the women are flaunting themselves and the way they're acting. Of course these things are going to happen, and they know it, but they're not asking for it. No, that was just her figure of speech. So I'm going to get her off the hook for that. And many of us are in agreement to what she said. It's absolutely truth and fact. Not that women are asking for it, but that women, for the last many decades, have continued to flaunt themselves, flaunt their nudity, their sexuality, their bodies, in all forms of the media for everybody to see. It's not behind closed doors. We're all looking, okay, and whether it's on TV or advertisements or whatever it is, billboards we see our children and everything see as we're driving down the street. It's all over the place. And why are they doing this? Okay, so why are they doing this? They are doing this because it's obvious. They want people to look. They want men to look. Are they doing it for themselves? They're just out there dressing sexy and flaunting their bodies for themselves? I don't think so. Because they like wearing sexy, flaunty little clothes? I don't think so. Are they trying to attract other women? Maybe, if they're lesbian or whatever they might be trying to do that, but the majority of them not. they're trying to attract men, and they're trying to get men's attention. That's why they're doing it. And you know what? They're making a lot of money off it. We all know that. We're making tons of money off all this sexuality and even pornography and all this other stuff. And women are doing this, and men too. But women are doing this, but they don't want to admit it. See, men will admit it. They can say, okay, we're involved in pornography. Okay, but women, oh my God, they want to lie about it, and but the truth is we know they're doing it, and they know they're doing it, and they're doing it to attract us. They're doing it to arouse us, to arouse men. That's why they're doing it. That's why they've always done it. The problem is, while they're doing this and getting away with it, now they're going to turn it on to men. They're going to turn it on to women, to men, and to and so on, and blame them for looking. No, we can't look. So we're not supposed to, they're going to do it. They can do it. But we're not supposed to react to it now. We're not supposed to look. We're not supposed to. So why are they doing it if we're not supposed to look? And if we don't look, they're probably going to lose some money here, for one thing, and lose a lot of interest in them. And but now when men react, or they, or look, or whatever, what women are flaunting them, now we're in trouble. See, now we're the harassers, now we're the womanizers, the sexualizers, all this stuff. We're the perverts and the deviants and all this, because we're looking at what they're doing. We're looking at what they're doing to us. But they can turn it on. See, they can get away with it, and they can excuse it and justify it, but we're not supposed to react to it now. And how ridiculous is that? And they think they're getting away with it. They think they're getting away with it. They can actually do this. Say, oh, look at all these pervert men. They're looking at our bodies. We're the one that's showing our bodies. We're the one that are being sexual and showing off our intimacy and all that. In public, in general public, for all our children to see, for God's sake. And and so that's what they're doing, and that's just how ridiculous this has gotten. It's just as bad as the Boy Scout Girl Scout thing, really. Another ridiculous thing that got totally out of hand now is all this sexual harassment crap and sexual assault crap. Nobody wants to hear it anymore. We've heard it over and over and over and over again. In these feminist women groups and stuff, they just want to over and over and over again just go through this entitlement and this attention-seeking behavior and talk about, oh, how terrible this is and how bad it is. Well, call somebody. I mean, do something about it, and report the person, whatever. You have the rights now. That's the problem, is you're not going to stop it. No, the stuff isn't going to go away. I don't care what you do, it's not going to go away. None of this is going to go away. All these things are always going to happen, whether it's sexual assault or whatever. You're never going to cure this stuff completely. You can control it, and you can report it, and you can do something about it, but you're not going to magically change it. It's not going to happen. None of this ever will. It's this kind of stuff, it just happens. It's human nature, unfortunately. And it's a good thing we're all not going around abusing each other, but there's a small percentage of people that this happens to, and that do these things, and you're never going to stop it. You can't do it. Excuse me. So, but women want to just keep on with this issue. Now, they've got their rights. They've got all the protection in the world. If something happens, all they have to do is report it, take care of it. But what do they do? What do they do? No, it's got to be flaunted, and the issue pushed and pushed. Well, for what? Why push it? Why keep pushing something that's already taken care of? It's not like you're trying to get your rights for something or asking for protection. You've got the protection. You've got everything you need. So if a problem occurs, do something about it. Take care of it. That's what they're there for. So that's how ridiculous it is. And it's the same thing. It's just power and control. It's to gain more power over men. It's to make men look as bad as they possibly can. And so on. And it's not it's not changing anything. It's not doing anything. We already have the awareness. They keep saying over and over and over again, oh, we need to be aware. We need more awareness. You don't think the world knows by now? The world has heard this 1,000,000 times. We've had it. Nobody cares. Nobody wants to hear it anymore. We're all tired of it. We've had it up to our heads. The women too, about all this harassment stuff. Nobody cares. And one person gets reported for harassment. Something happened 20 years ago. So what? Now, 100 people get accused. Now, 100 people step up. Oh, yeah, he did this, he did that, he did this. So what? You think really anybody cares? Say, okay, well, fine. Then perpetrate the person, do something to them, put them in jail, whatever you got to do, take care of it. But you don't keep flaunting us over and over. It's ridiculous. All you're doing is just burying yourself in a hole. When women do this, that's all they're doing. They're just burying themselves in a deeper situation than what they are, and they just don't realize it yet. And so anyway, yeah, I'm all for that. I don't believe in abuse. I think abuse is terrible. I don't care if it's adults, if it's children, whatever. It's all bad. Nobody should be abused. Nobody should be overpowering or harassing anybody. That's fine, But to take the issue and just to keep pushing it and pushing it and pushing it, that's what these groups do. It doesn't matter if it's about sex or race or religion or whatever it is. You want to just keep pushing and pushing, pushing. It comes to an end. There's no end. There's just nobody cares anymore, and you're just blowing off steam. Really, in the end, we all know this. We all know it's bad. We all know it's wrong. So if it happens to you, we're deeply sorry that it happened to you. Take care of it. Take care of it and move on. Nobody should be victimized. But if you're victimized, you get help. You take care of the problem. You stop the problem. You get help, and then you move on. That's what we've all done. There's many victims out there. The only problem is, some of the victims want to let their anger and maybe their pride, maybe their whatever it is, get out of control, get way out of control, and then they want to punish the whole universe, for something that one person did. And this is a very common problem. You take people who have been abused. Most of them get over it. Most of them, you see counseling. They've handled the problem. They've stopped the problem. They get counseling. They get better. They move on, and that's the way it is. Everybody has some trauma in their life. I don't think there's one person on this planet Earth that hasn't had some problem. Something happened to them. Something traumatic. Been abused by somebody. Been hurt by somebody. Whatever it is. Been wronged by somebody. And we move on, but we don't just keep flaunting. And a few of them are like that, a few that, and you get these feminist groups behind them, and they just won't stop. They just want to keep on and on and on and on and on and on about the same old thing that we've heard over 1,000 times. And of course, we have compassion for you. We feel sorry for you. We're all for equality. We're all for non-abuse, stopping the abuse, and all that, but you're not going to stop it. It's not going to stop, completely. You just got to, if it happens to you, there's no awareness about it. We're already aware. Everybody's aware. The whole world is aware, over and over by 1,000 times. Believe me, there's not one person on planet Earth now that probably doesn't know about the harms and the problems with abuse or harassment. We already know. So there's no reason to keep pushing it, and that's just a power trip. That's to get attention. That's just say, oh, I am woman. Women think they're special. Well, you know what? Men are special too. Simple as that. We're all special. Sure, women are very special. I agree. I think women are pretty special. You know what? I think men are pretty special. I think children are special. I think animals are special. I think the whole planet Earth is special. I think the universe is fantastic. I think we're all special. Women are not special any more than anyone else. Neither are men, neither is anyone else. We are all equal, and that's what it's all about. But some of these feminist groups, they've taken us way out of the universe. It's just way too far, and it's got to stop. Or somebody else is going to stop it. They're heading for trouble like this. It's just not. We're all sick of it, really. And I hate to say that, but we're all tired of it. We don't want to hear it anymore. I'm sorry if you've, something happened, you've got a problem, if you're being harassed, I'm all for it. Stop that problem, do something about it, handle it, But, you know, we don't need to, nobody really needs to hear any more about the awareness or the pushing that, you know, and, you know, if it doesn't mean 100, you know, if one person's accused of something, you don't need 100 people to back this person up and say, oh yeah, he did this, he did that, he did this, you know, nobody cares about this anymore. That's all you need. So, okay, well, take care of it. You know, the guys, make him go get counseling, whatever it takes, you know, but you don't need to keep pushing. Everybody's tired of it, really. I'm sorry. Now I just want to say, you know, to those groups, you know, these feminist groups, you know, these man haters out there, and all these, you know, we got to get the message out for the harassment. You know what? Think about what you're doing. You know, don't just be blowing off hot air because something happened to you and all that, and you think we need to hear it over 1,000 times. We got it the first time, really. And you know what? You're backed up by a lot of people who care. You really are. Something happened to you, you were harassed, you were hurt, you're sexually assaulted, whatever, you know, physically abused, whatever it is. Hey, take care. We're all for that. You know, nobody wants to see this stuff. We all hate it, you know, but we also hate all the you know, hearing the victim thing over and over and over, and all the awareness over and over. No, we've had it. We already know nobody wants any more. But think, too, about what you're doing. Think about the consequences. You know, think about the kids. Think about how men are reacting to you. You know, think about how the human race here is reacting to you. You know, when women do that, you know, they scare everybody. You know, it's so easy for women to say, oh, gosh, whether it's even true or not. You know, a false accusation against the men, automatically they think the women are they're going to believe the women. You know, that's not necessarily true, but oftentimes, you know, it can be a problem. Sometimes it is right off the bat. Sometimes the man was expecting, you know, and then a lot of times they find out it wasn't even true, that the women just lied, you know. But, you know, think about this with the decline. This is all connected here. You have the decline in relationships. Why do you think this is? Because men talk about this stuff. They're afraid. Men are afraid to have relationships nowadays because too much power that women have. They're afraid of women. You know, they're afraid to get into sexual relationships. They're afraid to get into regular intimate relationships because of these things. Divorce is all too easy. Child support is all too easy. It's abortions, all this stuff is all too easy. Men are afraid to get involved. That's why we have this lack of relationships now. That's why things have declined, you know, because of all this women's lib stuff and too much power with women. Men have become afraid, and I think as a result too, a lot of more people are turning to these alternatives, you know, like homosexuality and stuff. You know, as an alternative, because they don't want any part of relationships anymore. So men don't feel safe, you know, at all. At one point in time, women didn't feel safe. Now, men, I think, men don't feel safe. They don't, and men talk about it all the time, you know, with each other. That no, I don't want this relationship. I don't want that. I'm too afraid. What, you know, employers afraid of sexual harassment charges or anybody. Gosh, you know, just all these false accusations that have risen. We have people in prison. So many people have, now that we have DNA, so many people were accused of rape crimes. So a lot of rape crimes, a lot of them died in prison. Now they're digging up their bodies. They're taking their DNA samples, and they're finding they weren't even guilty. These people didn't do anything. They died in prison for some females' false accusations. This is happening more and more, and this is the fear that men have, is women have, really, in a sense, too much power, and they can abuse it. And women right now, at least not all women, we're not talking about all women, we're talking about these feminist groups, men haters, all that. They're abusing their power and abusing men, plain and simple. And this is what's ruining a relationship. And you know what else? Our relationships and our marriages have all declined. And therefore, births decline, because you have to have a heterosexual man and woman, you know, to have a baby. And so when you don't have that, you're not going to have the babies. You know, it really It's pretty simple. And so think about the children. You should care about children. Women, you're supposed to care about children. They always, bring that up too, as the child abuse thing. And also, you know what? That's a terrible thing. That's a terrible thing. We all agree with that. Nobody likes child abuse. Children should not be abused or sexually assaulted or anything. It's a terrible thing, right? Well, we got that under control, we really do. Now that it's not like it used to be. Now we know we can report it. We can handle it. We can get it taken care of. We can stop it, if we need to. Unfortunately, fortunate ones that something happened already, we can get help. Opportunity is there, but we're never going to stop it. Again, it will never. You're not going to wipe this off the planet Earth. I don't care how much magic you think you have. It's not going to happen. These things are still going to happen, and I think we slowed it down. We have, compared to probably what it used to be. I think it's things are better. It's a lot less, than what it used to be. But anyway, think about our children. Think about what you're doing to them. They're watching. Children see everything. They're watching what their parents are doing. They're watching, what their teachers are doing, and all their peers are doing, what the news says, and all the stuff around them. They're seeing women out there flaunting their bodies, their sexuality. They're probably these days seeing some nudity even out there from women flaunting their bodies, and they're hearing all this stuff. And children are getting so scared these days, because of all this sex stuff that they're talking about, and all this and all these relationship problems and all these feminist problems, and that's just feeding right into it. You're feeding right into these children's imaginations and stuff. Children aren't old enough to handle the stuff. They don't know about this stuff, but you're giving them all these false impressions, about what life is and what relationships are about. And you're out there, if you're out there, relaying to your children these false messages, that men are all bad and they're all sexualizers and they're all dangerous.